Hey guys, this is a full Auto Plus run on Lilyset's FR rate, Anachronistic Protector, Shinryu stage. Since this is a full Auto Plus run, most of the work is involved in the actual setup, so I thought I'd just show you guys how I set up the party before heading into the actual battle. I will also detail the setup in the video description in case you prefer a text-based version, and I'll cover more into why this setup is optimal for the Auto Plus run on this stage when the fight starts. But starting off with Gladio. Gladio is the most straightforward. You want your best Ultima weapon on him if you have it. And in terms of the passives, there's only one passive that you remove, which is Buff Boost Speed Up. That's pretty much it for him. You do want to equip all his skills, don't remove anything. Now coming to the next character, which is Aerith. Aerith's role here is actually just for the debuff immunity, because when the bosses enter into the Marlboro stance, they can inflict bad breath on your characters, the most crippling debuff of which is blind, which actually hinders your counter attacks. Now in terms of Aerith, first of all, in terms of the abilities, you actually want to remove both her S1 and S2, which is Healing Wind and Prayer of the Cetra. Those skills don't do damage and they eat into your force time, so waste of ability. If you do have Aerith's FR, you do have to remove the FR as well because you don't want her using it. And in case anyone asks, you do not need Aerith's FR for this stage to work. Up to her LD is enough. Which means that for Aerith, the only things that she's equipped will be her LD, Seal Evil, as well as her EX Fury brand. Now coming to Aerith's passives, you do want to make her as low as possible. I have it Prayer of the Cetra Light removed, but it's always removed. This one doesn't matter because she's not going to use Prayer of the Cetra. But for her, I have Buff Speed Up removed, and I think that's it. Yeah, so just Buff Speed Up removed will do. And finally, coming to Cor. Cor, you want to actually let me just go to his skills. You want to actually remove his LD skill with Fluorescence. Now you might be wondering why, because essentially it's free damage at the start of the fight. The goal is to actually hit your FR before the bosses go 79%, because at 79% they will get 3 consecutive turns, and you want to be in force time when that happens so that you can capitalize on the counter attacks from Cor and Gladio to get a lot of force bonus. If you have his LD equipped, he will do a lot of damage at the start, and very likely you can't hit your force time before the boss hits 79%. Now in terms of Cor's passives, I actually only remove Break Speed Up. He does have another passive called Buff Attack Speed Up, and I equip this. You want this because if you remove this, again same thing, the boss will hit 79% before you hit your force time, and that isn't ideal. By speeding him up a little bit, he gets a turn before that happens, and you'll be able to enter force time before the consecutive turns of the boss. Now finally, just a quick mention about the ultimate weapons across all 3 characters. You don't need so many ultimate weapons. In fact, for Aerith, I also have a staff ultimate weapon, but I did not equip it. That's also done on purpose because I realized that if all 3 party members have 5/5 ultimate weapons, you will deal too much damage, strangely enough, that the bosses will again get consecutive turns before you hit force time. So you can play around the ultimate weapons. So for example, if you don't have ultimate weapon for Cor, you can then equip maybe the stuff for Aerith and leave Cor without ultimate weapon. And you don't need 5/5, so something like 2 or 3 out of 5 ultimate weapons should be enough as well to follow the same strategy. In fact, you may even be able to do this without any ultimate weapons as well. That there is a little bit of leeway here. Summon doesn't really matter, just use Brothers for the max brave up. And since this is a Auto Plus, you don't need to use any core abilities or any friend support because the AI will never use them. So that's it, let's head on to the battle. So in an Auto Plus run, you aren't going to be pressing any buttons, so you can leave your game aside and come back later. The whole run takes about 10 minutes or so. And firstly, what I want to quickly do is to, I guess, try to elaborate a little bit more about the 79% threshold and why you don't want to deal too much damage before then. Now at 79% as well as 59%, 49% and 19% health, the boss's next turn will be 3 turns in a row. So in a counter based team, especially focusing on FRs that tick up in percentage when you do often damage, such as cores, you obviously want to go into force time before the consecutive turns that the bosses get, because as you can imagine, if you are in Cor's force time and then the boss hits 79% and they each get 3 turns in a row, that is 6 turns of counter attacks from Gladio and 6 turns of preemptive strikes from Cor. And if you are in Cor's force time by then, those often damage adds up a lot, not only in terms of damage but also in terms of increasing the force bonus percentage. So because of that, you actually don't want to deal too much damage. In my first few attempts, I did give Aerith a 5/5 ultimate weapon and I did remove the speed passive from Cor, but what actually happened was that I kept damaging the bosses down to 79% before Cor could use his force attack, and I felt that it was really a waste. The run will probably still succeed, but I don't think it is that optimal anymore because I'm essentially wasting 6 turns of boosting, or 6 boss turns of boosting the force bonus percentage. So I was actually just toying around in the setup and I decided to completely remove Aerith's ultimate weapon, and I almost got it, but in that setup, Cor still acted after the boss hit 79%, mainly because he was too slow. So I tried again with just Aerith's EX, and then this time with Cor and his buff speed up passive, buff attack speed up passive equipped, and you will see I'm actually coming quite close to it, that I just managed to hit Cor's force attack when the bosses are 80%, so it is pretty close. Now another option is to further dial down your damage, and you can easily do so by having Cor equip his force weapon instead of any ultimate weapon, and this way only Gladio will have a 5/5 ultimate weapon. Obviously this represents a significant drop in damage in Cor, and by doing so you will definitely hit force time before the bosses hit 79%, but the run will then take slightly longer, so you can adjust as you see fit. Now right here is exactly what I was referring to. I've just hit 79% on the boss, so your next turn will be 3 consecutive turns in a row, and very nicely right here Cor will use his force attack and I will enter force time. So in this way I benefit from the juicy 6 turns in a row that the bosses will get. This is pretty handy because it allows you to build a good force bonus percentage very early on in the fight, and later on when the boss is between 59% all the way down to 39%, what will happen is that at 59% they will get 3 consecutive turns each. They will receive major damage in counter attacks due to the counter attacks being force boosted, and by the end of their 3 consecutive turns they will hit the next trigger, which is 49%, and the bosses will get another 3 consecutive turns again, suffer major damage, and they will actually be very close to the 19% threshold where they will get another 3 consecutive turns. So essentially the bosses will keep giving themselves instantaneous turns and will suffer great damage along the way, and this way you will very quickly end the fight before you even complete your force time. Beyond that, you want to make sure that everyone in the party is force level 30. I guess it's not too bad if they aren't. Ideally what you want is to enter force time before the bosses do. In this stage however, it's not end of the world. Even if the bosses enter force time before you do, the boss's force attack is survivable. They will bring your health pretty low because part of the attack is a gravity HP attack, that deals percentage based damage, but it doesn't matter because you will gradually regen your life over the course of the fight anyway. And inside the boss's force time, the only force effect in play is that their HP can't drop below 1. And obviously, because of all the consecutive turns the boss will be taking, they will exit force time way before you need to kill them. So their force time actually doesn't really matter. Lastly, in this fight, with Cor and Gladio, nothing in the fight really endangers you. All of their attacks are pretty harmless. In fact, all of their attacks are no different than their past iterations. This is not the first time we are fighting the Guardians. Nothing has changed about the Guardians in terms of their attacks. The only difference, of course, is that this time they come with Shinryu level stats backing them up. But you actually see that most of the attacks are actually just brave attacks anyway. And what single target attacks that they have, that are HP attacks, Gladio will easily tank them all with his damage mitigation. With Aerith in the party, you don't have to worry about bad breath. She provides 100% debuff evasion, so you will never see any debuffs on your party. I'm actually at the part of the fight where the bosses will keep getting continuous turns because I hit the 59% trigger, and before their 3 turns are up, I've hit the 49% trigger, and it sort of reset their 3 consecutive turns again. And then at this point my force percentage is so high that the bosses actually hit 19% before their 3 turns are up, which then triggers another 3 turns again. So essentially the boss is committing suicide right here. So that's it for this run. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoy the content, please leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Shinryu fight. Bye!